YouTube. This is another part of our survival series. Today we're going to be talking about an emergency radio. Now, regardless of whether you bug in or bug out or whichever, if you are in the middle of a hurricane, a blizzard, or anything like that, and you lose power, you lose your TV, you lose your internet, you lose your way to get basic communication to news to find out what's going on outside of your house. Well, what we got is an Eton emergency radio. It is the FRX3. It's basically about the best model they have. And you can find these at like Brookstone for $60. We found this at Best Buy. They actually had a sale on it for $48. And it's actually a very good radio. So let me turn the camera around and we'll go through the specs and I'll show you exactly what it can do. Okay, now when you open the box, of course, you get the unit itself. You'll get a nice little owner's manual, of course, in English and Spanish. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to read that. And a small USB cable for charging the internal battery if you want to, instead of cranking it. Now this unit, you can charge the batteries inside of it internally a couple different ways. One, you have a hand crank. You have also solar panel on the back here, and like I said before, we can also charge it through USB. Now what you're charging when you do this, let me flip this back over, turn it around, and here's your battery compartment. You have a space here for 3 AAA batteries. You also have a rechargeable nickel metal hydride battery, 600 milliamps at 3.6 volts. Whenever you're charging from the sun or from the dynamo, and this is the little battery pack you're charging from. And since we've gotten this unit, that's the only thing we've ever ran it on. We've never ran it off regular batteries, and it's worked really well. Now the unit itself, of course, you have a crank, you have a tuning button that will change the frequency for you. You have the volume button, you got the crank, you got the FM, AM, and weather bands available for you. Solar panel. Up top you have a couple soft switches. You have an alarm that you can set on here. Instead of using your tuning, you can use up and down if you wanted to. The alert is for weather band alert. If you want to have that active, it'll warn you if the weather band sends out that little beep signal for your area saying there's bad weather coming or something. And then there's a button also for a cell phone. You can also charge a cell phone with this. We'll check that out in a second. If we come to this side, left side, there's nothing on there. The only thing that was broken when we got this, there's supposed to be a little bar in here so you can hook a lanyard to it. I really don't care because honestly this unit's about 1.5 pounds and it's pretty big. If you can see your hand, you're not going to carry this from a lanyard. It's basically got a built-in handle around the solar panel. Come to the right side, you have a little three lights here. If you hit it once, you get 2 white ones up top there, and the camera's misleading. Trust me, they're not that bright, but it'll work enough in a completely dark tent or something like that, or a room. It will illuminate and let you see. And then it's got a blinking red light, which I guess is just a feature they want to throw in there to make it a little more appealing. I don't really find a use for it. And one more pusher off. You go into the back here, you have your regular antenna for FM and weather band stations. AM has an internal antenna. Underneath this plastic right here, you've got 4 little things here. Let's see if we can zoom in here a little bit more. You can see the icons. This is for an auxiliary input. You can actually like plug your iPod or whatever into it and just use the speaker as an amplifier. You have a headphone output. This is your charging output if you want to charge the internal batteries, which I'll show you in a minute as well. And this is your cell phone output. It's a regular USB connection, and I will also show you that. But let's turn it back around and look at the front screen. It'll tell you, of course, it's a, let me see if I can get rid of the glare there. It's AM right now, 8:39 in the morning, and you'll see right here, if I can get in there, it says DYN. That means dyno or the rechargeable battery inside there. It's telling me the battery is fully charged. Now over here you also have a switch. You can change from hand crank battery or the regular AAA's. If you hit the AAA's, it's going to tell you battery's dead because they're not in there. It's running off the dyno. Press it back to the rechargeable battery and it says it's fully charged. That's the other thing I forgot to mention too. The top keys and the screen will illuminate for 5 seconds whenever you press a button. So that's a good little feature as well, especially if you're in the dark. So let's turn the power on. Click it on. It's only mono, it's not stereo, but in an emergency situation, do you really care if you have mono or stereo? It comes in very clear, and I barely have the antenna extended right now. Now we switch to AM. We're going by the internal antenna, so you orient it. There you go. And you can pick up AM radio. Now we flip it on over. For my area here in Delaware, channel 2 for the weather band usually works pretty good. Turn up the volume a little bit.
Cloudy with a 50% chance of rain. Highs in the mid-40s. Southeast winds around 5 miles an hour. Friday night, cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening.
But you can go through all the frequencies you have here. Now, if you want to charge it, you'll see here, you can hand crank it, and let's see if I can get the screen to wake up again for a second here. You'll see the little meter bouncing back and forth, saying you're charging. And this is actually a heavy-duty dynamo. It actually puts a little bit of resistance on there and actually charges. It's not a cheapy one, where you see in like the little portable flashlights. This one actually can put out some power. Now you also can charge through the sun. If you get enough sunlight, which right now it's kind of dark, it will start blinking as well, as long as you have on the dynamometer setting, and it will automatically charge the batteries. If you turn it around, take this, plug in their included cable that they gave with you, plug that into there, turn it back around. I just got a little cell phone adapter plugged in right here. Plug it in, and all of a sudden, let me see if I can illuminate for you there. There you go. See, it's charging now. So you have 3 ways of charging: crank, solar, or USB. The book, if we look on it, on page 6 I believe, hopefully this will show up good enough. How much operating time does 90 seconds of hand cranking provide for the radio to play and for flashlight? 90 seconds of cranking will get you about 5 to 7 minutes of radio at low volume, or about 20 minutes on the flashlight. How long does it take to fully charge the radio's battery with the USB adapter? About 2 hours. How long will the radio play when the rechargeable battery is fully charged? About 3 to 4 hours at low volume. And last, how long does it take to fully charge the radio's battery with the solar panel? About 10 hours in direct sunlight, not through a window or in the shade. In other words, this unit needs to be outside, directly pointed at the sun, which the sun this moment's over there. When you have sunlight coming through a window, you actually lose a lot of power of the sun. So it has to be outside and in direct light, and it will charge. And I have tried it. In about 10 hours, it does fully charge the battery from being completely dead. Now for cell phone charging, you would turn it around, you plug into the USB adapter, and you would plug it into your phone. Of course, you're not going to get any power through your phone until you press that little cell button up top here to actually activate it. And there you go. Now we got power. It's going to drain the battery really quick, so you probably only get about 5 minutes worth of charging time if you're lucky, especially on a smartphone that pulls a lot of power. So I wouldn't actually consider this charging the cell phone very well, but if you need an emergency, someone can talk on the phone and another person can sit here and continually crank, and it will dump power into the cell phone so you can make an emergency phone call. But by no means, don't think that that little battery inside there is going to charge your phone from dead. It'll give it enough power so you can make a phone call, and that's about it. You turn it off, and the power stops. As you can see, battery's already down to 1 bar, so from 3 to 1, it will suck it down fast, but as long as you're cranking while you're plugged in, you're okay. So, nice little radio, and I think I'm going to be doing a little project here eventually, because unfortunately these batteries, they're nickel metal hydride, and within about a year or two they will go bad. And if anyone's been watching my videos, they know I like to play with supercapacitors. So I'm going to be hopefully sometime this spring or summer finding a way to replace that with a big supercapacitor you can mount on the back of here, and it will basically last forever at that point. So this is a good emergency radio. It is the Eton FRX3. About $60. I suggest you pick up one. Thanks.